So this video is going to remind us the steps for using long division. There are no decimals involved in this particular example. So the numbers in the example are 252 divided by 7. And just as a reminder, the steps for long division are divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down. So I'm going to go through the steps in order for this particular example. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my division house. It looks like this. And then I'm going to put the numbers from the problem into the division house. The first number that you see is called the dividend, and the dividend goes inside the division house like that. The second number that you see is called the divisor, and the divisor goes outside the division house like that. The way that I can remember which number goes in and which number goes out is that when you go to a concert to see a band that you really like, you want to be the first person in so that you can get a really good seat, and you want to be the last person out so you can maybe meet the band at the end. So first in, last out. First number goes inside, last number goes outside. That's how I remember the order. So now that I've set up my problem inside the division house, I'm going to go through each of the steps in order. So the first step is divide. So I'm going to ask myself how many times the 7 goes into the numbers that are on the inside. So I'm going to start with the 2. I'm going to ask myself how many times I can divide 7 into 2. 7 can't go into 2. 2 is too small. So I'm going to put an X at the top to show that it can't go into the 2. And then I'm going to move over to the 25. So I'm going to ask myself how many times I can divide 7 into 25. 7 goes into 25 3 times. So that was the division step. Okay, so I'm going to check that off. So now I'm going to do the multiplication step. I'm going to multiply 3 times 7. 3 times 7 is 21. So I'm going to write that there. That was the multiplication step. The next step is subtract. So I'm going to subtract 25 minus 21. 25 minus 21 is 4. And that was the subtract step. And then the last step is bring down. So this last digit here, this 2, I'm going to bring it down and put it right next to the 4. So this becomes 42. So that was the bring down step. Okay. Because this number is not a 0, I need to go back and try the steps again. So I'm going to start back with divide. I'm going to ask myself how many times 7 divides into 42. 7 goes into 42 exactly 6 times. So I'm going to write a 6 up here. That was the divide step. Now I'm going to go to the multiply step. I'm going to multiply 6 times 7 to get 42. That was the multiply step. Now I'm going to do the subtract step, and I'm going to subtract 42 minus 42, and that's 0, and that was the subtract step. And then there's no other digits left to bring down, and this number is a 0, so that means I'm finished. So that means the answer to 252 divided by 7 is 36.